Hello, welcome back. It's Saturday afternoon and it's quite dark. Darren's watching the football. I've just made myself a peppermint tea. It's very hot, so I'm going to leave that to cool down for a few minutes. And I'm trying to get crafty. I've not been very successful with my craftiness lately. And I wanted to try something new. I thought I would try a collage. So I'm cutting out some flower shapes for my vase. Let's see how it goes. But I thought we could have a chat while I do some crafting. A couple of you said it'd be nice to see me doing some crafting. I'll be honest, recently none of my crafting projects have really worked out. So it's been a bit, I think maybe I've just not been in the mindset, I don't know. But nothing's quite worked out how I wanted it to. So let's see if this works out. I'm not sure whether I'll go with a white background, but I'm just laying it on there to start with, just to see. I've got these various sheets of wrapping paper that came in that book, so I'm trying those out to start with. Let's see whether it works. This is the next sheet that I'm gonna take some of these flowers. I also thought some of these leaves might work, but they might be too fiddly to cut out. Let's see. So while I do that, I thought we'd have a little chat. Talk about things we're enjoying and things that are good and all of that sort of stuff. Thought I'd talk about some things that I'm enjoying watching. I watched the other day on Channel 5, I think it was, an episode of a series called Ellis. It's like a detective series. That's my favourite kind of programme to watch on the telly. I'm a bit predictable like that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was quite a long programme. And I've only watched one, and I think that there was only 3 available. Whether they'd only done 3 or whether they were still to be released, I don't know. But I'll definitely go back and find the rest of that series. So I really enjoyed that, so I thought I would mention that. We're also watching Person of Interest. I can't honestly tell you which channel that's on. Might even be Channel 5 again, I'm not sure. It's an American series about a computer whiz who designs a computer program to use all the information that they collect on us data-wise, with facial recognition and all of that, to find possible risks of terrorism. But as a byproduct of it, they also predict when somebody's life is in danger. But the governments aren't interested if people's lives are in danger. They only want to know about terrorism. So all these crimes that could be stopped go ahead because the government's not interested. So he takes it in his own hands to save lots of people's lives with the help of an army guy. It's a bit cheesy. It's very American, but it's kind of easy to watch. You know that the baddies are going to get caught in the end, which is always how I like my programmes to finish. So I can go to bed safe in the knowledge that all the baddies have been caught. So yeah, we've started watching that. We've actually watched it before, but we said, oh, it's been at least a couple of years since we watched it. Let's watch it again. Now we're getting old. We don't need necessarily remember everything. So we've been watching that. Do you think this is going to work out, my little vase of flowers? I like that one. Oh, it falls over like that. But that was so difficult to cut out. I still need to tidy it up a bit. Now, am I going to be able to get out some of these leaves? I don't know. Let's try this one here. So that's what we've been watching on the television. And then on YouTube, I really got into watching Dish, you know, the Waitrose podcast, with, I think it's Nick Grimshaw from BBC Radio, and Angela, I've forgotten her second name, she's a chef anyway, and they get various celebrities on, and they just talk about their favourite foods and what they like and what they dislike and memories from childhood and all that. And it just, I think it's because it's such an everyday thing that everybody has. It's like the celebrities aren't anything special in that. You know, we all have favourite foods and we all have childhood memories of foods and things like that. And then they always do these like quick fire questions, which are really simple things like, what's your favourite sandwich? What's your favourite pasta dish? What's your favourite crisp flavour, that kind of thing. And I don't know why I really enjoy it, but I really do. And it's interesting hearing about everybody's little quirks and dislikes and likes and things like that. Incidentally, let's talk about our favourites. Right, what's my favourite? My favourite sandwich. I think I'd probably always choose, if I was saying going into like a meal deal at Boots or Tesco's or whatever, I would go for a ham salad. But I always remember when I worked at W.H. Smith's in Victoria Centre in Nottingham, in the market, there was a stall that did sandwiches, and they would do crusty cobs with cheese and onion, and they were top notch. It was just the combination of the crusty cob and the cheese and the onion. Yeah. So I do like a cheese and onion cob, but I'm not eating bread, so at the moment sandwiches are off the menu. Favourite crisps? I think they would probably still be Walker's Thai chili. I love those. My absolute favourite thing used to be a big bag of Thai chili crisps from Walker's and a dairy milk. That would be absolute supreme treat night. But I'm not eating any of those things at the moment, so that's not happening. What other crisps do I like? I mean, I quite like you know when you get a good hand-cut crisp in salt and black pepper? A classic flavour like that. Can't beat it. And some of the crisps that I used to like when I was younger, I don't think I could eat them now. I mean, certainly like Knick Knacks. I used to love Knick Knacks. But no, they don't work for me anymore. As far as a crisp sandwich goes, prawn cocktail in a crisp sandwich, just a plain cob with prawn cocktail. Can't beat that. Yeah, I think that's crisps covered. What's my favourite chocolate bar? Too many to answer that. Depends on the mood, doesn't it? Depends where the mood takes you. Always loved just a dairy milk. So anything along those lines. A twirl is basically just a dairy milk in a different form, as are buttons. So all of those. Love a crunchy. Used to be a big fan of a Boost, but they're very stodgy. I think I felt like they were value for money because they were really stodgy. They would fill you up. So Yorkie used to do a honeycomb version. That was quite nice. God, this is so fiddly to cut out. I need a smaller pair of scissors, really. There we go. Yeah, might work. Need to flatten it a bit more. Let's see if I can cut out some more leaves. Toblerone. Oh, I love a Toblerone. But again, not something I'm having at the moment. I'm going to go for this one here. If I can get it off the bigger sheet, then I can cut around it. Yeah, so Dish on YouTube, the podcast from Waitrose. I don't find it too advertising, which is quite nice. They do, you know, every now and again mention Waitrose, but it's not over the top. And then recent find on YouTube. One of them is one that you've probably heard of because they've got a big following, but I'd never heard of them. Kit and Caboodle. No, Whole Kit and Caboodle. A mother and daughter, and I think they've got a few YouTube channels, and so I might have got different ones mixed up. They do mudlarking, so they collect stuff from the water's edge. They make things like miniature things for like miniature dolls' houses out of the stuff that they've collected, which is really interesting. And then they also do charity shop hunting and thrifting and stuff, and find different things for their homes, which obviously I find interesting. Incidentally, it's totally relevant, but I hate the word thrifting. We have charity shops, not thrift shops, and you go bargain hunting or you go looking for treasures. I really don't like the word thrifting, but that's just me being ridiculous. I know. Sometimes I get a thing in my head and it just sticks. But yeah, thrifting just bugs me. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm old-fashioned and I like to stick to words that we've always used. I don't want to adopt new ones just because I'm stubborn. I'm going to cut off that leaf if I'm not careful. Oh, there we go. I do have a little scalpel handy that I can use if I need to. But, yeah, really enjoying their channel. I've watched a few on the different channels that they've got. So I've watched a bit of the mudlarking, watched a bit of them making stuff for the doll's house out of the random bits that they find, but also saw some of them finding stuff in charity shops for their homes and really enjoyed it. They're just interesting to watch, but nice and chilled. We like chilled. So really interesting, that one. And then another one. Oh, I think I'm going to grip it. Oh, I think I got away with that. Another recent find on YouTube was Gable Hill House. This one is a chap and he lives in a very grand big house, like almost like an old stately house somewhere. I don't really know where it is. Beautiful views, beautiful house, and he likes to find things in charity shops and stuff. But he's sort of showing you around his house and showing you things that he's found and how he's decorated, and he also does little musical interludes where he's obviously a very talented musician, So I've watched a couple of his videos now. One, he played the piano, and then another one he played the violin. I mean, I'm very impressed that people can play musical instruments, because I'm pretty much tone deaf. So, oh, I ruined that one. Might have just got away with it there. Yeah, so if that sounds of interest, again, just a gentle, we like gentle, just a gentle channels. So if you know of any other gentle channels, let me know. Sorry, concentration going on now. Don't know how I'm going to get into there. I might have to use my knife to do that bit. Let's cut around that bit. Not keeping that leaf. That leaf's going. So yeah, those were my latest YouTube finds. And then I don't think I'll be able to link this one. I'll link the others, but this other one is a TikTok find, which is a guy who, oh, I think I've ruined it. Have I? Just can't get that bit off. Hang on. No, I'm gonna have to get my knife out to do that bit. Put you to one side. Sorry, where was I? A guy who lives in China with his Chinese wife, and they have 2 children together. And this is on TikTok. Fisher Zhangs in China, they're called. Because I lived in China as a child for 9 months, I'm always just fascinated with stuff about China. Oh, I've broken it. Oh well. I'm always just fascinated about stuff about China, and he just talks about everyday, ordinary life, which I find interesting. You know, going to the supermarket and trying out food and talking to his neighbours and all of that. And I just find it really interesting. I think I dislike about TikTok is the amount of advertising and selling. They seem to go through phases of what they're selling you. At the moment, it seems to be all about fleece lined tights. Not long ago, it was all about neck firming cream. And then before that, I think it was oil pulling. So yeah, that's what TikTok seems to be about, selling. But isn't everything about selling now? Feels that way, doesn't it? But then I try and sell to you as well. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite when it comes to that, aren't I? Right, what next? So I've got this one, which is quite busy, isn't it? Can I cut a bit of that out, or is that too much? Mind you, that's got some nice yellows there. I could do some little ones. Let me cut a bit off that, so I've got a smaller piece to work on. Which bits I'll pick out. So I've got these little yellow ones here. Quite like this big, almost like poppy thing there as well. And this leaf's nice there. All looks fiddly though, doesn't it? All looks very fiddly. I think I'm going to go for this one to start with, even though I think it might be a bit big and punchy. I did this one as the vase. But I'm thinking now I should have had that as the tablecloth and had a different one as the vase. Or because everything seems to clash with that as a, I was going to do that as a tablecloth. I've got some, these are mainly Christmassy papers. See, I've got that, but oh, that might work as a tablecloth. Anyway, getting ahead of the game. Let's cut these out. My last video, again, I said this in my last video, but I'm going to say it again. The one that just came out last, I had some really lovely comments and I really appreciate it because, like I said before, sometimes you think you feel like you're talking into the void and what's the point? But yeah, really lovely comments, so thank you very much. And I've forgotten what your real name is, but cat lady Christina, is it? I might have got that wrong. Told me what she was having for tea, and you know what, I found that fascinating. I'm a bit nosy, you know, when you go to the supermarket and you see what everybody else has got on their conveyor belt, things that they're buying, and I think, oh, that's interesting, because I tend to just look at the same things all the time. And the same with cooking. We tend to do the same things over and over because you can't think what else to make. So what are you having for tea? Today, we've already had our main meal. I made a stew yesterday in the slow cooker, and it was a big batch, so we had leftover stew as our main meal. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for my tea. It's probably going to be some boiled eggs and bits and bobs on a plate, because I'm really trying to stick to this low carb. I have been really good. I have started having the odd little bit of dark chocolate, and like I said before, I am having like lentils and beans and stuff, and some sweet potato and things like that. But I've not had any biscuits or bread or pasta or rice or anything like that, so I have stuck with it. And in total I've lost about half a stone, which is an added bonus, but it's not the most important thing. My skin's not cleared up, but it feels better today, but then again I've felt that it's been better at other times and then it flares up again, so I don't know whether it's getting any better or not. Hoping it won't be too long till I can have my appointment. What I'm thinking is with this is that might not work in this collection, but it might work on a different one if I don't use it on this one. So I don't know why I fancied doing a collage for a change, but I think I had to just try something new because nothing else was working out. So I felt the need to try something different. Right, what are we going for? I really wanted some of these yellow ones, but they look very fiddly. But it'd be nice because they're smaller, aren't they? Okay, I think I'm going to have to cut it out a little bit more first. So, just because I'm nosy, And I get nosy about the most mundane things as well. So in the comments below, answer me these questions. You can do it in a list if you want to. So 1, have you found any good programmes on telly at the moment, something different? Or a new YouTube channel? Or anything like that you think we'd all like to hear about? 2, what's your favourite flavour of crisps? And if you don't like crisps, what is your go-to snack? What's your favourite chocolate bar? And if you don't like chocolate, there's something wrong with you. No. And then, what are you having for tea? What's for tea? And have you found a new meal? Something like you're obsessed with at the moment, that you're just having over and over? And if that's the case, have you ever thought about an ADHD diagnosis? Joking. I am, you know, doing this low carb thing is all very good and well, but I really don't want to have to stick to it because 1, I'm missing sourdough. But also there's things that I actually enjoy doing that I'd wanted to restart doing. So one of them was baking bread. And obviously if I'm not eating bread, there's no point baking it. We've got all these fruits and stuff we're going to grow in the garden. Just planted a new pear tree. So I can't give up all fruit. But I'm thinking that real fruit is better than... The problem is with the big Bramley tree is you always add so much sugar when you're making crumble or whatever. So I just need to eat it straight off the tree and not be adding sugar. There we go. Ooh. I'm not sure about these red and gold ones. I don't think they look right. Let me take those out. Maybe not that one. What else have we got? What other colours have we got? Is there anything else on there? There's these pink ones here. No. That's the same sheet as I just had. That one was the one before. There's this one. Oh, that's a bit different, isn't it? Why is it all the way down there? Why isn't it near the top? I have to cut all the way down here just to get to this bit. That's mine. Right, where are we going to? Tell you what. I'm going to go all the way along. invest in some better scissors, I think. Oh, got paper flying everywhere. Right, this one down here. Here we go. I've just realised how long I've rabbited on for. Oh, my tea is going cold, so I hope you've enjoyed. A bit of a different video, a very quiet one. And I will catch up with you soon. Take care, stay safe.